That's why. Now, let's move on to, let's see, we've done the block, or we've done the guards. Let's do blocks. Okay, let's do those. We've done the static, let's do the real blocks. Okay, everybody come up on guard. All right. The basic blocks and how the blade will move from guard to guard. Very simply put, you normally want to try and stay in such a way that the point of the blade is at your opponent, but that your guard is moving. So what I mean by that is bring your blade up, okay? If I'm in line and I'm blocking, I will turn my wrist to move his blade out of the way. I'm keeping the edge on his, because the edge is much stronger than the flat. It won't bend, but that way I can extend and keep him right there. That point on him is much more effective than having the point out here somewhere. So what happens is, and you'll see it more in a few minutes when we go to do some of the initial moves. If I block out like this, I have to bring that blade back. There's a lot of time eaten up in moving that blade around. If I can keep the blade on him, I'm in a lot better shape. Does that, I mean, that pretty much makes sense, right? Okay. So the basics of those blocks are this. Open this way, open this way, around, you can go clear up to the prime, from there, all the way around. If you need to clear out to here, what you're doing is you're opening up a path, basically from here to here, and then to here. Normally you won't get in and out between those, that's okay. But you'll still, most of the time, you'll be right in this range, possibly up to here if they come in on a high line. A couple of things that are really cool, and I want to jump back to cut and thrust for a minute. I don't want to lower it by any stretch of imagination because it is really neat. It's something that's at the society level. It's now been approved. I've done some practice with it. It's very interesting. My personal opinion, and I'm going to stress this right now. This is my personal opinion. There are a lot of control issues that need to be addressed with it. I see some potential for some injury that could be there. I'm a little bit leery of it at this time, but I think with proper training, I don't think it'll be a big problem. But that being said, there are some basic cuts. These are real familiar because I haven't done this in a while. Okay, everybody come to on guard. First things first, when on guard, fighting against cut and thrust, roll your wrists out. Up, there you go. Why? Because that way, if I strike here, I have to raise your arm up and out. If I come downward, it's right there. If I come here, it's right there. If I come out here, it's right there. It's very simple blocks. Very simple. Here to here to here. Or here. There's one of the few times you take it offline because, again, power is going to matter. Because if I'm coming down hard, this is a very powerful cut. If I bring that blade up like this, I'll block it every time. Or hopefully every time. The blades aren't going to give a whole lot. Yeah, if I don't get it up quick enough, I won't. But you know, that happens too. Okay, so pretty much so far we've covered pretty much all the blocks, right? Okay. Okay, I jumped real hard now. Let's go to attacks. All right, we're going to go online. On guard. Back up just a little bit. No, front group stay up. Front group stay up. Try to make sure they got enough room so they can poke you in the back. Okay. All right. Basically, a lunge didn't exist before about 1850 because it's just not that effective. Well, maybe a little before that. Because small swords, some of the guys were doing it a little bit. But generally speaking, with this type of blade, you don't want to do a real deep lunge. Why? Well, a couple of reasons. First off, go ahead and throw me a lunge. Okay, if he steps in a lunge like that, he's out of balance unless he's really good. Actually, he's pretty good. Well, I know he is. I'm not messing with him too bad either. But what happens is, okay, go back to on guard. Now, throw a lunge again. Okay, I'll tell you what. Back one more time. Now, throw a lunge at me again. Throw a real deep one. Okay? He throws a deep lunge. Now, if I'm fighting on a strip, if I'm fighting on a 6-foot wide area, you know, I don't have a whole lot of places I can go. Okay? But the wonderful part about our fight is, I step offline, I got it. And he's still got to get up. So, you know, it ain't going to happen. You know, not normally. Now, every once in a while, somebody can pull a trick, but it's just not very safe. So instead, all you're wanting to do is a thrust. Then thrust. Thrust regular. There you go. Side step forward, about a half step forward, a little bit of power into it. Now, you can go very fast. Don't get me wrong. He's doing it slow so y'all can see. But you want to still do it fast. But it's not very deep because I'm still safe. He's still safe. Because at this point, even though he's in that position, he's a lot more stable than what he was in a deep lunge. And at the same time, if he throws that shot at me and I do this, go ahead and move. what would you do? Exactly. You pick up his foot and pivot. He's not so far out of balance that he can't move safely. Again, the first part of defense is fencing is defense. You're trying to stay alive first, then maybe poke your opponent. Maybe. Okay. All right. So, go ahead and come on guard. Okay. Do a thrust. Okay. Good. Now recover back. Okay. Thrust again. Recover forward. Good. He didn't come forward, but that's okay. Maybe it's aggressive.